On today's primetime local news, over $10 million in funds given from the government to update an old seniors' lodge. More than 300 women take part in the 9th annual Inspiring Women's Conference today in Lloydminster. And a Bobcats player talks about his experience playing hockey during Black History Month.
I do some work with this thing called CIHC, which is Columbus Inner City Hockey Club, and we work with like Seth Jones on the Blue Jackets.
Plus, creating the best yields for crops and livestock while producers are constantly working towards better products.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Last night, the people of Vermilion celebrated the reopening of Vermilion Valley Lodge. With more than $10 million worth of renovations done, the town was excited to open up the new space to the public. Our Jasmine King has more.
Before the new renovations, the Vermilion Valley Lodge hadn't been updated in decades, and after years of fundraising for the Vermilion and District Housing Foundation, they were finally able to complete their renovations.
We're super excited. So we had the opportunity to remodernize 50 of our 82 beds in our lodge. And these were rooms that were from the 1960s, so they were very small, and you had to take a shower down the hall. And this way we've got totally modernized it, and we took the opportunity to rebuild our kitchen, our laundry facilities, so our mechanical structure, so our lodge is really set to go.
One reason the lodge was able to update is from the $10.5 million investment they received from the government under the Affordable Housing Agreement. The Minister for Seniors and Housing, Josephine Pond, made an appearance at the updated lodge.
So impressed and so grateful. As a government, nothing more important to looking after our senior. And we are so grateful that this project is done, and we have about 124 units here, and some of the facility we develop and renovate, and we add another 50 new units for our senior. And now I understand that they're fully occupied with the new home.
With the money they received from the government and the money the town raised, they were able to complete the renovations.
I owe a big debt to the community in terms of the fundraising that they did. They were able to pull a caucus together, and we raised $1.5 million in just over a year. So we were able to do a lot of the extra furnishings, the equipment in the kitchen, those kinds of things, and really get that work done.
For Vermilion Mayor Caroline McCulley, seeing the renovations finished and seniors enjoying the lodge means a lot to her.
For me, it's really emotional to finally be at this spot where we're actually done, and to see the residents move in. They are so happy. The staff are super excited to be able to work in this facility. So it's finally, you get all the things done and wrapped up. It's just a really exciting point. So
there is plans for a few more renovations over the next few months. Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Walter Bonet, a Cree elder from Little Pine First Nation, came to Lakeland College today to share about his current book with his students. He wants to create awareness for people to know about Native culture, Native spirituality, and their way of life. He also came to promote his new book titled Listening to Elders Telling Stories Sitting in a Circle. This is Walter's first year at Lakeland College, speaking about his stories from his past and relationships with elders since he used to speak at NAIT in Edmonton.
He incorporated his culture, his values with Nate as a elder there, and then he's done that across Canada. Speak at many functions and seminars, and so he's actually quite well known. So.
The event had a great turnout with students from 2 other high schools. Family friends on Facebook also showed up. Melinda believes it's important for Walter to come and speak at Lakeland College due to the low amount of First Nation students at the school.
So the lack of students here should be really important to have people come here and know that, Natives should be here. And to have incorporated, if he can be here and encourage Native students to come and get their knowledge, I think they should.
Walter's new book is based on his life experiences, his family, and values they believe in. They hope to teach others the importance of family as Walter continues his work. It was a day of personal and professional development as women came together at the Lloyd X. Our Jace Mackey has more on the Inspiring Women Conference.
For 9 years, women in and around Lloydminster have gathered together to connect and share stories. And this year was no exception, with a record high of over 350 women in attendance.
It's just gotten bigger and better. When we reflect back onto those first years, we've always had some great support, but each year we keep expanding the circle and the scope.
This year's event featured breakout sessions on health and wellness, being authentic on social media, entrepreneurship, and cyber safety. The day was capped off by a keynote speech from former journalist Carrie Dahl.
A big part of her talk is going to be about sharing your own story in an effective, empowered way, whatever that may be. And of course, she's interviewed many, many people over the years and has lots of motivational stories to share with us as well.
Tara Weaver and Kelly Sidoric have been organizing the event to help connect women in Lloydminster.
Yeah, 9 years ago, Kelly and I decided to try and put on a women's conference in Lloydminster just because we had been to some that were in other communities around Lloyd, and we thought that we should have one here, and it's really grown.
Even though Lloydminster may be seen as a small community where a lot of people know each other, the opportunity for women to meet new friends and network is a major reason the event has been so successful.
Other than the overarching sort of messages for the day is really truly networking. There's a lot of people in the room already today that I have met that even though we reside in the same community, I've never had the opportunity to meet one-on-one.
Over the years, connections made at this event have led to partnerships.
A couple of women in particularly that met here, and they were both doing different presentations, and then they've gone on to collaborate and start their own project that's really added a lot of depth to our community.
The organizers hope this event will help spread positivity.
I just think there's so much that we can do to support each other in a positive way and help lift each other up. There's a lot of negativity going on in the world these days, and if we can kind of keep it in a positive framework and help and support each other and be inspired.
Jace Mackey, Primetime Local News.
And now I look at your weather forecast with our Abby St. John.
Thanks, Judy. It's currently -12 here in Lloydminster. Fairly cloudy skies. There's a bit of a chance that we could see some light snowfall this evening, like we've seen through the last couple of days. Nothing too major, just a little bit of light snowfall overnight starting this evening. 16-kilometer-per-hour winds coming in from the south, making it feel closer to -19 with that wind chill. Across Alberta, -9 in Cold Lake, 0 in Athabasca, +2 in Edmonton, -2 in Red Deer, +1 in Edson, -3 in Whitecourt, 0 in Jasper, and -4 Rocky Mountain House. On the Saskatchewan side, -11 in Meadow Lake, -20 in Prince Albert and Melfort, -16 in Saskatoon, and -15 in North Battleford. Overnight in North Battleford, there's about a 60% chance that they could see some snowfall, light snowfall starting this evening, and light snowfall tomorrow morning as well. A little less of a chance for tomorrow morning, about a 30% chance that it'll continue tomorrow. But for right now, overnight, there is about a 60% chance they could see some light flurries. The temperature will be -13 overnight, and that wind will be at 9 kilometers per hour coming in from the south-southwest. And then tomorrow it will be 15 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-northwest, with a daytime high of -5 and a mix of sun and cloud. In Cold Lake overnight, there's about a 30% chance of some light snowfall starting this evening, with the temperature remaining at -9 and that wind also remaining at 11 kilometers per hour, but switching directions to the west-northwest, and then pick up to 13 kilometers per hour tomorrow coming in from the same direction, with a daytime high of -3 and a mix of sun and cloud. Here in Lloydminster overnight, we have a 30% chance of snowfall, as I've said, with the temperature at -10, and that wind will be at 17 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-northwest and slow down to 13 kilometers per hour in the same direction tomorrow, with a daytime high of -5, which will feel closer to -14 with that wind chill, and a low of -10 and a mix of sun and cloud. To start your weekend off on Saturday, a high of -6, which will feel closer to -19 and a low of -14. On Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -3, which will feel closer to -16 and a low of -10. That is a look at your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back on this week's BioClean Business Bio. A one-stop shop, Truck Zone, has everything from parts to service available at their Lloydminster location. Our Eric Bay has more.
Whatever customers are looking for on their vehicles, Truck Zone is able to provide a wide selection of parts at their store location.
We carry a wide range of parts for Max, Freightliners, jobbers, all that stuff. Our mobile service is 24-hour service for our clients and our new clients too. So for everybody that's out there.
That 24-hour service is also available wherever and whenever service is needed.
Here in Lloydminster, we offer a wide range of products from 24-hour service with a fully equipped truck on the road for all our clients' needs, to tank inspections, to mechanical service, to CVIPs, to parts, all 24-hour service, our parts included.
Providing heavy-duty welding as well, Truck Zone covers any need.
Our B620 facility is a big one of ours where we do all the trailer repairs and stuff for clients. So we try and pride ourselves to be a one-stop shop for the heavy-duty world. So.
Truck Zone is open during the week and on call 24 hours a day. And that's this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Homes are for everyone. Your home is your sanctuary, your oasis, your safe place. Let our family take care of yours while you get back to your life.
Welcome back. Creating the best yields either for crops or livestock is what producers are constantly working towards. Eric Bay has more on how regenerative agriculture is improving operations in this week's Ag Report.
Creating sustainability has been constantly on the minds of farmers and ranchers, but now it's being taken a step further with regenerative agriculture.
I think the main concept behind regenerative ag is that we're trying to improve rather than just be sustainable and stay where we're at. We're actually trying to improve the land base and improve the people on it and improve the product, and basically it's all about rebuilding or improving what we're working with.
Regenerative ag starts from the ground up, literally focusing on soil.
We're doing quite a bit of work on soil health. We've started investigating what's going on beneath the soil in terms of life forms and that sort of stuff. We've done a bunch of testing. We do a variety of polycrop mixtures. We do grazing. We have a lot of native habitats that we work with our cow herd.
Grow our soil and the operation. So it's really quite exciting now that we aren't just going to maintain it at a certain level. We're actually able to improve those different processes.
While regenerative ag is still in its early stages on some farms, a willingness to communicate has helped local producers start to implement the process.
There is a lot of different experimentation that's been going on, and that's how the way we learn best, right, is if we can share some of our successes, but as well as our missteps and our failures along the way.
Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Centre. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Centre with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
And now here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
The past 5 days have kicked off the world celebration of Black History Month. And right here in the border city, one player from the Bobcats has a different look on what the month means compared to his teammates.
Black history stretches back through the NHL, dating back to 1957. Willie O'Ree was the first black player to debut in the NHL, and for current hockey players, is idolized.
I had like a little incident on the ice where there's some racial slurs thrown around, and he actually got in contact with me the next day, and we got to have a good talk, and we're still in contact to this day, so that's pretty cool.
Sam Carper is the only African-American player on the Bobcats. Back in his home in Ohio, Carper has had the chance to work with black inner-city youth.
I do some work with this thing called CIHC, which is Columbus Inner City Hockey Club, and we work with like Seth Jones on the Blue Jackets, and like he's been a big mentor to me and a bunch of the other guys that work with that. So
while with this team, Carper feels right at home.
It's like something that you don't really think about until like you have to, I guess, you know. And I don't know, like the boys are kind of just the boys. I don't get reminded of it, don't think about it ever almost. But
leagues worldwide are celebrating the month. Leading the way, the NHL has set up the American Legacy Black Hockey History Tour. The tour features a museum inside a touring bus that will visit schools, community rinks, and NHL games, including the Stadium Series later this month. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
A lack of depth last season led to fatigue down the stretch as the Lakeland Rustlers men's volleyball team just missed out on a long-awaited return to the postseason. Now, new additions to the roster will be tested with their captain out of action for the next few weeks. Josh Ryan has more.
After earning their 10th victory of the season, the Rustlers suffered another setback as captain Matt Peck went down with an ankle injury.
A pretty huge setback for the group, and for Matt especially. He's worked so hard over the last 4 years to get to this spot where we're in a playoff spot for the first time in a really long time for this program.
The fourth-year left side is likely out for the team's remaining 2 weekends of regular season play, putting pressure on the rest of the roster.
Our leading scorer, right? So it's going to be tough for us to make up those points, but I think we got a good enough surrounding cast that the guys should be able to step up and make a difference.
Just playing good defense and just being real solid in service eve and just being real solid all the way around, not making a lot of errors.
Finalizing a new starting lineup may involve some experimentation this Friday when Lakeland hosts the Augustana Vikings.
Find something that seems to work, and then hopefully we can stick with it for the next 4 matches. So yeah, looking probably like Cole move to the left side, and then we'll have one of our younger guys step in at right side.
That means more responsibility for setter Lane Blight in managing the offense.
Mix it up, just keep the other side guessing, the other team's blockers guessing, just trying to give everybody a good amount of sets and mix it up as much as I can.
And while this kind of adversity late in the season isn't ideal, the team's young players do stand to benefit.
They've been chomping at the bit a little bit to try and get into things, and so again, one of these guys is going to have the opportunity to prove themselves and to see what they're made of, and hopefully show us why we recruited them here in the first place.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
And now for a look at your evening weather with our Abby St. John.
Thanks, Evan. Taking a look at our satellite radar, a little less activity than we saw yesterday, but there's still some quite a bit of snowfall happening outside the Edmonton and in surrounding areas, in the Vegreville area as well, Marwayne, St. Paul, Bonnyville, Lac La Biche, making its way through all those regions. Here in Lloydminster as well, we've seen a few evenings go by with some snowfall, where there's about a 30% chance that we could continue to see that this evening, but nothing too severe. Up in Cold Lake as well, about a 30% chance of light flurries this evening and into tomorrow morning. On the Saskatchewan side, North Battleford has about a 60% chance of snowfall this evening and about a 30% chance that they could also see some continuing tomorrow, just light snowfall, nothing too heavy. Minus 12 currently still here in Lloydminster, as well as in Macklin, Meadow Lake and Green Lake. Minus 11 in Maidstone, minus 15 in North Battleford, minus 13 in St. Walburg, minus 8 in Pearceland, and minus 11 up in Isle La Crosse. On the Alberta side, minus 12 down in Provost, minus 8 in Wainwright, Vermilion, and in Marwayne, minus 6 in Bonnyville and Vegreville, plus 2 out in Edmonton, minus 7 in St. Paul, minus 9 in Cold Lake, and minus 3 up in Lac La Biche. And tomorrow, minus 5 here in Lloydminster, as well as in Marwayne and St. Paul, minus 3 in Provost, Vegreville, Bonnyville, and Cold Lake, minus 4 in Wainwright and Vermilion, and minus 2 in Lac La Biche and in Edmonton. On the Saskatchewan Ingleside, -3 in Macklin and Pearceland, -5 in Maidstone, North Battleford and Green Lake, -4 in St. Walburg and Meadow Lake, and -10 up in Isle of Cross. Overnight across the region, Meadow Lake, Pearceland, Provost, Paradise Hill, Murnum, Unity, and Wainwright could experience some snowfall activity overnight tonight. Isle of Cross having some fairly heavy cloud coverage overnight, and Bonnyville sitting fairly clear with just a little bit of cloud here and there. -11 in Meadow Lake, -13 in Isle of Cross and Unity, -8 in Pearceland and Bonnyville, -12 in Paradise Hill, -9 in Provost and Wainwright, and -7 in Murnum for your overnight temperatures. Your school day forecast for tomorrow at 8 a.m. it'll be -8 with a mix of sun and cloud. By the time recess rolls around, it'll be -7 with that same mix of sun and cloud. At lunchtime, it'll be around -5 with a little bit more sun than cloud, and it will remain that way for the rest of the day, and a low of -10 for tomorrow. To start your weekend off on Saturday, a fairly cloudy day with a high of -6 and a low of -14. On Sunday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with a high of -3 and a low of -10. To start your week off on Monday, fairly sunny day with a little bit of cloud coverage with a high of -4 and a low of -7. On Tuesday, a fairly cloudy day with a 76% chance of snow, high of -3 and a low of -7. Things get significantly colder on Wednesday and Thursday with a high of -18 on Wednesday and a low of -25. And then on Thursday, a high of -16 and a low of -23. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news in the question of the day coming up after the break.
Well, it's that time again for question of the day. Madonna came out and said Prince Harry and Meghan should trade boring Canada for New York. Do you think Canada's boring? Now, I don't think Canada's boring. Obviously, there's some parts of it that, we could fix, but no, Canada's awesome. Madonna, on the other hand, I think she's just trying to get back in the spotlight.
Yeah, one person even commented Madonna's boring and irrelevant and hasn't had any good music forever, and it's true. No one talks about Madonna, and no one really cares. But another comment, a lot of them were just poking fun and making fun of this whole situation. One person said, if you think clean air is boring, sure, move to New York, have fun with that. So a lot of just like, if you want to go. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone in Canada, but if you're choosing somewhere, there was rumors that they're going to Victoria and BC, and those gorgeous sceneries and views, even just on the island, they're going to trade that for New York. Then they can do that.
Well,
that's
and they
totally
haven't even
fine.
replied back to her, so
exactly.
It's probably just there for everybody to talk about, like we are right now.
Yes.
Something to talk about are pets. Thanks for sending your pet pics for a chance to win a gift card from the Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Today I'm joined here with Pam Bicott. She is one of the owners of the Tent Guys, and they have a special event coming up on the 8th, Weddings on the Border, fun exhibition at the Lloyd X grounds to enjoy different wedding displays and all that. So thank you for coming in and to share more information on this event. Can we just start off, what can people expect to see this year?
Well, the main core of it, of course, is our trade show, and we have the event experts from the Lakeland region that are here. So we've got everything from decorators, caterers, your venues. We have live musicians that are there that'll also be on stage. We have a gown sale. There's the florists, literally anything you'd need for your special event. If it doesn't have to be a wedding, it can be an anniversary, birthday, graduation is another great one, because we've got the limos, everything. It's all there in one place for you to see.
And so what do you think brings people back every year?
Do you know what? The event community is really strong in Lloydminster, and we're proud to be able to showcase the partnerships, because really when a gala happens, anything in Lloyd, it's the core group of us is who's working behind it. So I think some of the fun that we have with this is we really work on partnering with the other vendors in the show. So we get to see the latest and greatest lighting from Cody with Maz Entertainment. We get to see stage decor from Quintessential Designs. We're seeing, flower arrangements from Audina with Flowers on the Fly, and we all get to just show what we're best at. And because it's all showcased in one location, it's one of those fun things to walk through the door, because we're always going to do something different.
And so going off on something different, is there anything new this year or something that may have been popular or that people gravitated towards in years past this year?
So we've got the fashion show, which of course is all formal wear. So Cliff Rose and Bailando Boutique is putting that on, and that'll be at 3 o'clock. We've also got, like I say, live entertainment. So we've got Kenny Mack, Lizelle McLeod will be on stage. New this year though is we do have an on-site gown sale. So although we've had the fashion show before, we've got a beautiful gown sale that's on. So and there's lots of exclusive offers. So if you're through the door, the first 125 brides and grooms, you're going to get a package full of really fabulous offers. So if you're looking for still a videographer, flowers, like I say, there's some definite things you want in that bag.
And so you mentioned that. So kind of what are the details? You did mention the first couple hundred people coming in.
Yeah.
So what do people kind of know to be in that little exclusive group to get those offers?
So you need to be a registered bride or groom. So you can do that on our website at www.weddingsontheborder.com. If they do it by tonight, actually we're doing a VIP draw too for seats at the fashion show. So you'll get some cocktails, you'll get some reserved soft seating. It should be fun. But everybody who's registered as a bride or groom, you get one of those bags as long as you're one of the first 125 through the door. So you want to be there early, but at the same time, it'll be an all-day event. So.
And over the years that you've put this on, how have you seen the success rate, or what kind of is, the showing when people come out, like the number-wise?
Well, this is our second year producing the show. It's actually been held for 13 years in Lloydminster, so we can only base it on the last couple years, but we're seeing a tremendous growth in the support of the show, both from vendors, sponsors, the event community as a whole. We're seeing lots more people pre-register in advance, so we've gotten that message out so people can save time, save money at the door. So it's just been exciting to see the growth of it in the last 12 months.
And then just to wrap things up, what are kind of the finer details that people need to know? When, where, what time, the location, and if they need to bring anything?
Certainly. So we're over at the Lloydminster Exhibition Grounds in the Alberta building. The show hours are 11 to 5. If you're planning to try on dresses, they recommend that you wear like a strapless undergarment for best fit, and then an approximate heel that you might be wearing, so that when you step out of that change room, you're going to have a real feel if that's the dress you're taking home. And it's a magical moment to watch people find their dress at these types of things. Other things, we've got a coat check that's being operated by Big Brothers Big Sisters, so don't be afraid to bring some stuff if it ends up being chilly. We've got places to store it. We've got an on-site cocktail feature lounge down at the end by the stage, so you can relax and enjoy your day. So.
And just final question, you did mention that to get that big package, the 125 people, you have to be a registered bride and groom. Is that the only place or only area that you need to be registered, or do you have to be registered to use any of the other or experience anything else?
You can just come in and enjoy the day if you aren't comfortable registering, but certainly if you want to be in for the grand prizes and for those goodie bags, you want to be registered. Another thing that we have is our paparazzi wall, so make sure to take a selfie with all of your entourage, because whoever brings the most people, post that to social media, you're going to win $1,000 to spend with our vendors. So it's definitely worth taking that snap.
Yes, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in, and I'm sure this event, this show is just going to be incredible.
It's going to be a fun week, Jay. You bet.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If wedding bells are going to be ringing for you soon, the place for you to go this Saturday is the annual Weddings on the Border. It's going to be held at the Lloyd X grounds, and there's going to be everything there that you need to make your special day extra special. You can visit with all the different vendors that will be on hand. There's an opportunity for you to take in some great live music. There's also going to be a fashion show featuring bridal and also groom fashions as well. That fashion show gets underway at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. You can get pre-registered right now at weddingsontheborder.com, or you can just head out to the Lloyd X 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. There's so many great characters in Alice in Wonderland. The Mad Hatter, the Queen of Hearts, the White Rabbit, and of course Alice herself. All these characters going to come to life on stage at the Vic Juba Community Theatre on Saturday afternoon. Lakeland College of Performing Arts is putting this show together, and the students in this program, they read the original story and then they adapted it to the stage. They've also been working on the sets, so you're going to see a lot of great local talent on stage when you head out to this show. Plus, it's perfect for the entire family. You can get your tickets now by stopping by the Vic Juba Community Theatre box office. You can also go online, vicjubatheatre.ca. You'll be singing along, you'll be dancing along to a great show that's coming to the Legion here in Lloydminster on Saturday night. Voices of Legends, tributes to a number of great artists, including Johnny Cash and Garth Brooks. If you want to get your tickets, you can stop by the Legion in Lloydminster or get them at the door coming up on Saturday night. Showtime is 7 o'clock. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today I'm joined here with Sensei Dave Woods. He is the owner and head instructor at Nor Alta Jiu-Jitsu Dojo here in Lloydminster. Yes. Thank you so much for coming in today. I've just been seeing a bunch of posts on Facebook about your dojo, and you know, so many people had so many nice things to say about it. So I wanted to bring you in because, you know, I've always been interested in jiu-jitsu. I don't really know too much about it. Sure. So first, can you just explain what sets you apart from other dojos and other martial arts?
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for having me, Abby. Our style of jiu-jitsu is a Japanese style of jiu-jitsu. So we have a focus on street self-defense. We don't do sport. We don't do anything like that. We focus on life skills for our children. We focus on street defense for our children, personal protection for our children, but also same thing with our adults. With my background of law enforcement, I've had 20 years of law enforcement experience and about 35 to 36 years of martial arts training. I try to marry those two together so that people who take my course and take my classes can sort of be protected also from physically, also legally as well. So we focus on that. I use my law enforcement background to help my students. I started in 1984, and a lot has changed since 1984, I can tell you. From my teachings, it started with, if I ever had a question as to why are we doing this, my answer usually, almost guaranteed, was because I said so. From that, I've learned you get more out of learning why you do something than just being told to do it. So I incorporated a lot of that into my school, where I explain why I do or teach what I teach, and then have my students have a better understanding of what it is that they're doing.
So you have different classes that you offer throughout the day. Is it different age groups or different skill levels, or how does your classes kind of work? Well, what we have is we have age-specific categories, and we have age-specific training. So we've just introduced that this year. So I have a 3 to 4 year old group on Saturdays, and we focus on their beginning learning skills. So we're teaching them, you know, how to run, how to crawl, how to jump, how to roll, getting their coordination down. We have a 5 to 6 year old group as well, 7 to 9 year old group, and a 10 to 13 year old group. And then we have our adults, which are 14 years and older. 14 years and older. So we have a very age-specific category of training, and then we try to focus on their ability of learning. It's kind of like school, where you wouldn't have a 5-year-old mixed in with a grade 8, right? So we try to focus on
age-specific kind of categories. We also have women's self-defense classes. So we have our next one is coming up March 22nd, actually, and that's already darn near full. So we specifically trained for women's self-defense. We also have junior, like children's self-defense classes if they want. And then we also have other things like keychain seminars where we use weapons of opportunity, as it's called, right? Basically tools to aid in our escape if we need to. So we focus on very different type classes, but specific. So we don't, just sort of do a whole mishmash. We do specific type training.
And so what does jiu-jitsu, how does the Japanese jiu-jitsu that you teach, how does that differ from other martial arts?
Again, well, our Japanese jiu-jitsu is really focused on street self-defense. Our motto is no rules, only results, right? So I'm not going to worry about, well, am I allowed to do that? Am I, I'm not allowed to do small joint manipulation. If it works, we do it. And other martial arts, and I don't want to speak for other martial arts, but my experience with other martial arts is basically there's a lot of sport involved, and there's rules and regulations and that kind of stuff for when you're sparring. With us, ours is basically pretty much anything goes. I mean, if we have to bite them, we'll bite them. I mean, it's so basically it's really focused on self-defense. Now that part is our practical aspect of it. We also have an art to it as well. So that's where we get flashy, where we get throws and we get really cool combination techniques in as well. But when it comes down to the Japanese style of jiu-jitsu that you need to use on the street, what we like to say is flash is trash. If you get all flashy out on the street, it's not gonna work. And if it does work, you'll be lucky. But when it's my safety, I don't wanna be lucky. I wanna be absolutely sure it's gonna work.
And just really quickly before we wrap up, you mentioned that you have open registration coming up at the Service Sports Center. Just give some details on that.
Sure, absolutely. So February 11th, we're going to be at the Service Sports Center. I'll have a table there. And we're going to be doing our registrations for April because we do it in semesters. So our April registration starts, I think, on the 2nd of April. And adult registration is ongoing, but for our children's programs, it's a registration for a semester system, which is a 12-week semester. It's 12-week semester. There we go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Wonderful.
coming in. I learned a lot of stuff about jiu-jitsu that I didn't know before.
Great.
So thank you so much for
Well,
coming in.
thank you very much, Abby.
Thanks. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for tomorrow, a high of -5 and a low of -12. Then on Saturday, a high of -6, high of -3 on Sunday, -4 on Monday, -3 on Tuesday, where we have a 76% chance of snow. And then things get significantly colder on Wednesday with a high of -18 and then a high of -16 on Thursday to wrap up your 7-day forecast.
Well, I'm going to enjoy the weather when it's -5 and -4 because next week, -18 and we don't jive. We don't,
coming up to that Wednesday.
Right? Oh, it's going to be brutal. I think about it before I can enjoy this week because I know it's coming up.
Yes. Well, hopefully, maybe something will happen and it'll get warmer.
Exactly. And on that note, thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Have a good night.